didn't stay out too late. Everybody else looks like a zombie this morning. BlerDCon goes hard, huh? How's it going?
All is well.
Yay.
I was not prepared for this, so I apologize.
That's all right. That's all right. How you guys doing? Yeah? What's been your favorite part so far? The cosplay, right? Like God, the cosplay contest is tonight. You guys coming to that? Yeah. I'm one of the. I'm not a judge, but I'm one of the. I work with them on the kids cosplay, so I get to announce the winners. It's so cool.
Do any of you guys have questions for Karen? Anybody have a question?
Not all at the same time, guys. You guys are a little aggressive this morning. They're
can come
still
on up.
tired. Look at this outfit. I love it.
I promise, I'm not gonna bite.
I have an extra one out here. I have this one. We can always.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm great.
Good morning.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of starstruck.
I know it's like afternoon, but in BlerDCon hours are like good morning.
No, I have loved you since the 90s. Yellow was my favorite color for the longest time until one day someone told me I was too dark to wear yellow.
What?
Yeah.
Absolutely
I did
not.
not
Who
wear
said
it.
that?
That was when I was like 7, and I did not wear it again until I was
Yellow
in college.
works for all of us. Like that is right. Like
Till I was
especially
in
people with dark
college.
skin.
But you were the yellow Power Ranger in the early 90s. I guess, how was that difficult? Because to me, you were like the star of the show. You know, everyone loved
Aw, thank
the
you.
Pink Ranger. So I guess, did you have like a lot of diversity just trying to find yourself within that? Like, because I know there were different cast members and there were different POCs, but they were never like the true focus. At least that's how I feel.
No, I mean, crazy thing is I was like, I was terribly confident back then. It's like when you're young, you just don't know what to be afraid of, right? And so for me, I always leaned into the fact that like I had wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be a performer. It wasn't even just an actress. I wanted to be a performer since I was a kid. Like I have pictures of me when I'm like 3 years old and I'm in front of my family with a microphone. You know, and I would literally be the live entertainment for all of my sister's parties, and that's the kid that I was, right? So for me, it was like finally I had an opportunity to be on a TV show, and then not only on a TV show, I found out when I got the job that I was doing the movie as well. So it was like I got the golden ticket, right? And so I just was so excited, and I leaned into that. Like, you know, I didn't even care that, you know, we were coming on the show. I didn't even, you know, it was almost like I knew, you know, Trini had left the show and she was very popular, and I was like, oh man, but I just wasn't gonna get nervous about these things. Like I was like, I'm gonna do this, right? And even then, I didn't really, like, I mean, obviously I knew I was the only black person on the show. I mean, it was obvious. But it wasn't even like, I didn't even know how much it was resonating with all of you until way after, right? Because it was just like, for me, I was just living my dream. I was on this show. I had this great opportunity. I was very proud of the fact that the show was very diverse. And it wasn't like you just had one kind of kid being the hero. You had many different kids who were the hero, and every kid kind of got somebody who looked like them or was like them, you know, who could save the day. And I just thought that was so cool. But it wasn't until I got older and I was like, you know, I knew that we were breaking some ground, but it wasn't until I got older that I started coming to Comic-Cons and people would come up to me and they would be like, seeing you changed my life, or seeing you made me, you know, the fact that Power Rangers had, you know, you and Walter was like, it made me feel like I could play make-believe. I could be a hero. I could do these things. And I mean, it just blew me away. It blew me away when I heard these stories. And I mean, we literally get stories every day where people are like, I became a scientist because of Power Rangers. I'm a third-degree black belt. You know, I've been spent 30 years in the Marines fighting for our country. And I'm just like, what? Like, these people have grown up to be real life heroes, and we only pretended to be heroes. So it's just such an honor and such a blessing to be a part of something that was so positive. And it's so crazy because, like, our fans have not let it go. It's been 30 years, and they're like, they still watch it. You know, somebody just today was like, we watched the movie last week. And I'm like, that's crazy. But I find that it brings so much happiness. And I feel like the life that we have right now and the cards that we've been dealt with all this, you know, just just what we're seeing happening in real life, we need some happiness, and if Power Rangers does it for you, then so be it. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else have a question? You can come on up, sweetheart.
I know Walter must have really went out last night because we can't find Walter, so y'all gotta give him a hard time for the rest of the weekend. Like, you couldn't make an 11 o'clock, bro? Like, it's not like it's 9 a.m. It's like 11.
So, what was your favorite part of working on the TV show or working on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie? What was your favorite part of that?
Favorite part? I don't know. There were so many cool things that happened. I always lean to the movie only because, the TV show to me was so much fun. We used to work really fast, and it was like such a fast pace. And for an actor, that's great. Like when you go to work and you're just like, it's going, that is a great feeling. Because then when we got on the movie set, it was like, okay, we're gonna, we'll go back to your trailer. We'll call you in a minute. And literally 5 hours later, they would call you. Like you were like, oh, it was like hurry up and wait, right? But the movie I always loved because we got to shoot that in Sydney, Australia. And so for me, I was 18 years old. I'd never left the country. My first passport, in Australia, 18 is legal. So you can gamble, you can drink, you can do anything. So for some young kids, we were like having the time of our life on set and off set. So it was just fun. And it was like almost like, that moment in your life where you feel like I'm finally independent and I'm finally, like, it was like, this is my show. I had my first, it was like I had so many firsts. I had my first apartment. I had my first everything. I lived alone for the first time. It was like all these things. So Power Rangers always has like such a special like place in my heart because it literally was a time in my life where there were so many firsts and so many, like, I was coming of age, I guess, myself, But yeah, the movie, I always leaned to the movie because it was like bigger sets, better costumes. Like, it was insane, the money that they were spending on this film, and it was just so cool to be a part of such a big budget movie. So really, really cool. That's one of my favorite moments. Thank you.
You'll be next, sweetheart.
How's it going? I'm Tim from
Good.
Alexandria,
Hi.
and this is my 5th time meeting you. It's kind of become a
Nice.
tradition.
We're old friends now.
Yeah. So, what was it like taking over for Tree Trang? And also, do you have any favorite memories of the late JDF?
Oh yeah, wow. You know what? It was cool taking over for her because I knew she was very loved and she was a very popular character. I didn't get to meet her until after I was on the show, and I met her briefly at a party. So for me, it was almost like I never even saw her until way later, And so it was one of those things where it wasn't like I went on set and she was leaving and I was coming in. It wasn't like that. When we got there, we were there, and they had. I remember we were shooting like a 3-part episode, and they were using stunt doubles, like so a girl that didn't look anything like her, but had like at least her silhouette. They were using her to stand in for her, and then they were using like stock footage. So I didn't get to meet her until like weeks later. But it was, for me, I was just happy to be there. I was happy to have be a series regular on a TV show. And if you've talked to any actor, that's the goal, to get on a show and be a regular, and you're a full-fledged cast member. I was gonna go shoot a movie in 6 weeks in Australia. I was just happy to be there and just was like, I'm ready to do whatever it is they need me to do. And then once I got there and I was able to get comfortable, I was just happy to represent, little girls that look like me, And so I was like, can I have braids? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, so I just kept like pushing the boundaries of wanting to be my authentic self. Because I literally was in high school 3 months prior. So it was like, for me, it was like, this is how I looked in high school. This is how I dressed in high school. Can I bring this to the character? And they were very open to that. And as far as JDF, man, we had so many memories. Like, we literally traveled the world together. We went on these adventures that are insane. And then after him and Steve Cardenas were the 2 people who called me and were like, hey, they want you to come to a Comic-Con. And I was like, what is a Comic-Con? And this is like 10 years after we'd left the show. And they were like, like when those, when people like the Star Wars people get together and everybody dresses up in costumes. And so that was my idea of what this was. And so literally him and Steve were the ones who got me in this world. And then for the next 16, 17 years, we literally traveled the world, going everywhere. I mean, Jason, Frank, and I were in Peru together. We were all over the United States together at different shows. And so I always just hold on to the fact of like, wow, what a life we got to live. You know, it's one thing if you're on a TV show that only lasted for about a year and a half, 2 years, but we were still friends 30 years later, you know, and he was such a complicated guy, but then he was such a sweet and endearing person as well. So it was just, I don't know, I just always hold on to the fact that we, you know, it wasn't like we did this show and then we never saw each other again. We actually did see each other a lot, and we were able to just, you know, see each other's family and see each other grow as people and stuff. So I'm just thankful to be able to have a life outside of Power Rangers and have like real friendship and real family. That's kind of what the Power Ranger group is all. We're really like brothers and sisters. So we fight, we get back together. It's like total brothers and sisters. It's insane.
Thank you for your question. You can come up behind.
So I know that Power Rangers is a very active role, and I know that it's much easier to maintain your hair if you have a different texture.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious how much input you had in the styles for the hair, and how much, like, what did you have to do to actually maintain that during that time?
It was insane because they didn't understand it. Like I was like, guys, like literally my first 3 episodes, they had me running, they had me biking, and going into a lake. And I told them, I was like, if I go in this lake, my hair is not going to be straight when I come out. Like I'm trying to tell you, it's going to take us. And they were like, well, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll have the hair and makeup fix you. And I'm like, all right, I guess you got an hour and a half. And then these are women who, I mean, I love them to death, but they weren't, you know, they didn't know how to do black hair. So they would, you know, they tried their best. So literally they put me in the lake. And then we were like, okay, we'll see you in an hour. Because they were like, and then they were mad. They were pissed off at us because it took them an hour to blow dry my hair just so they could get a second take. And it was insane. So that's why instantly after we did like 20 episodes, I instantly for the movie was like, can I get braids, please? Because I won't have hair if we keep this up. Like it was that insane. So luckily the producers were so like open to anything that I wanted to do. They were like, yeah, what do we do? Where do we take you? What's going on? And I remember they had someone take me to Inglewood. And like we were in Santa Clarita, but at least they were smart enough to go, we're not going to take her to Beverly Hills. Let's take her to Inglewood because we know we can find a place that can do her hair. And so they did. They took me there. And then when I was in Australia, I mean, literally, guys, this was in the 90s. I mean, I don't know if you've ever go to Australia, but there aren't a lot of us there. Like, it was almost like I would walk down the street and people would just come up and touch me. And I was like, what is happening? Yeah, and they were like, they hadn't seen, and they would go, where are you from, America or from England? Or where are you from? Because they really had not seen black people. Yeah, it was the 90s. I know, it's crazy. But it's just one of those things where that's how, like, they were so curious. But they found one black African man, and he did my hair, he did my braids in Australia. But I was like, thank God. At least they would have found him, you know. And then he had taught his assistant how to touch me up, and so she took care of me. But it was like, it was just insane. But I told them, I was like, guys, it's like, we're different, you know, and thankfully they were like, find whoever you need and we'll pay for it. And if they got to come here or we got to take you there, we'll do it. But we want you to feel comfortable. And that doesn't always happen on TV shows. So, you know, so I was very thankful. Guys, guess who's in the house? Walter Jones is in the house.
Nice to see you.
We've already talked bad about you. Now
Hey,
we
what's up,
all
y'all?
got to know what you did last night.
Well, I saw Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
He went to the Janet Jackson concert.
I was like, okay, Janet was doing her thing. Doom, 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 doom. I was like, Janet. Like, get it, Janet. She still had it, too. I was
She
like,
does, yeah.
Janet looking good. I'm
I
like,
know, she's 60 and she's still moving like
is she
that.
60?
Yeah,
my
Janet's well
goodness.
into her 60s. Like, think about that. And she's so amazing.
Yeah, no, it was dope. The reason I'm late is because I thought it was just your panel.
Oh, see?
Because on my schedule it says interview with Karen Ashley.
Oh, see?
So I was like, oh, okay, my bad.
That
my
means
bad.
you have an interview with me.
Now I get it.
They didn't write that right.
Yes,
It does
yeah.
say that. It says interview with It
Karen
says
Ashley,
interview with
right.
Walter Jones.
Yesterday
on
I
mine,
had
so, yeah,
an
that is
interview with
confusing.
Walter Jones. So I was like, oh, okay, Karen's doing her panel today. I got my panel today. So anyway, hi, hello. How you guys doing, all right? Yeah. Okay, I see y'all up in the building. So BlerDCon it's the first time I've been here. Karen was like, you have to come to BlerDCon. It's amazing. It's our people. Let's go. I was like, for real?
I've been recruiting Black Power Rangers.
And so I can just say this, like, since I've been here, I mean, it's been lively. I'm like, y'all, it's dope. I'm like, okay, all right. So happy to be here. And is this just...
Yeah, we're taking questions.
Is it
There
just
are
us?
people. They
What
have
are we doing?
questions.
Okay.
Yes, this gentleman's next. They're
You have
doing
a
pass the
question.
mic.
Hello, sir.
Hello, love you two guys.
Thank you.
What's the future of Power Rangers? I guess, do you think it needs to go to in a mature tone, grow up with the audience, or it needs to stay kid friendly and also more like
I really don't know. I mean, I'm expecting that they're gonna cater to the adults. Although
I hope they do.
the toy company has just changed to kids. So it's I don't know.
It's all
kinda odd.
confusing at
Yeah,
this.
it's very
We're in a
confusing.
confusing time.
And I know Netflix is changing as well. So I don't know. I wish I did, but I hope that what they do is there was some talk that I heard about Hasbro taking Power Rangers and putting it with some of their other properties like Transformers and G.I. Joe, and like I think that would make a good world, right? Y'all think so? Power Rangers, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Ninja Turtles, that'd be cool, right?
That'd be very cool. Yeah, we don't know. We're usually the last to know. Like, you guys know before we do, and you guys are telling us. And then, because they don't call us and discuss it. They should, though, because the reality is we're, like, on the front lines. Like, we see all of you every weekend, and we know what our fans want. And for years, you guys have wanted a more edgier, edgier show. And I've literally spoken to so many people at Hasbro going, I mean, they watch the Avengers. Like, come on. Like, their kids can handle it. So I don't know. We'll see. But I'm sure they've got something exciting, and, it'll just keep going and going.
Another question?
Hi. I was just wondering how much did you guys do your own stunts?
In the original version of Power Rangers, when it was first starting, we did all our first stuff. Okay, let me correct it. We had half Japanese footage. So there was, from the Sentai, they used a lot of Japanese footage from each episode, and then they created episodes around that Japanese footage, and then we would do our thing. But we had open reign to do all our fights and all our stunts. So anything you saw us do, that was us doing it. We were jumping off of play sets and so forth and so on. We were doing that. And kicking putty, hey, and that was cool. In fact, I remember I got to do some pretty interesting stunts because Zach, who had Hip Hop Keto, the stunt coordinator couldn't tell me what to do. He couldn't go, all right, you're gonna do this. He couldn't do that. He was like, okay, what do you want to do? So I would be able to break down my fights and be like, all right, so I had this idea, and then me and the stunt guys would put something together. And I remember one time. I had this episode where I was being chased by Putty, and I'm in the park, and I was thinking, we ran past this tree, and I was like, I want to swing over that branch. And I tried it, like in my physical. I was like, okay, I was running, and I grabbed the branch, and I tried to get up over it, and I was like, I just didn't have the
Gravity.
I was like, it wasn't really working. But then the guy, the Putty, his name was Eric Bates, Eric Betts. And he was my buddy, and he was like, all right, tell you what, I'll push you. So while I'm running, I jump up and grab the branch. He pushes me from the back. I swing up over the branch, come back, and kick him in the back. And it looks so cool. But it looked cool. It was like, dang, the boy he's agile. And I got to do a lot of cool stunts. But in the suits, I never jumped off a roof. I never had a big explosion at my back. That didn't happen.
Yeah, they couldn't let us get hurt. Like, that was the thing. Like, if you hurt the actor, then now we're down for a month. So, but when we came on, same thing. We did all of our stunts. If it was Aisha fighting as Aisha, it was me. They weren't going to double us, and they weren't going to hire anybody that looked like me to do that fight. So we had to do all that. But it was also at this point the show was like in high demand, and every day they were like, "We need more episodes. We need more episodes." So literally, we'd be here, working, and the stunt team would be there working. And like he said, the stunt team, they were our friends. Like they would be our stunt doubles, and then they would be the monsters. They'd be the putties. They'd be everything, and they literally helped us. They'd always help us make us look good. Like they are so smart because they'd figure out ways if you couldn't do something, they could figure out a way to help you do it. Like I know in the movie when I crashed the two guys together and then I flipped forward and flipped back, that was something we worked out together because I wasn't like a gymnast, but they were like, just jump forward, and like literally like I jumped forward and my body just flew, and then I jumped back, and I mean we did a front flip, back flip, and it was because they they just told me how to do it. But yeah, they always made us look really good.
Thanks.
Great question.
Hi. Karen earlier told us about her hair experience, and I was wondering if Walter, you could speak about that. And
What experience? Oh, the
That's
hair.
why I had to get
Yeah.
braids because they kept
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to put me in the Castaic Lake.
So I had the flat top, and the flat top was very popular back then, right? So I was doing the flat top thing, but in my own way. It wasn't like the kid and play flat top. It was just whatever. And so by the time we had done 60 episodes, I was over that hairstyle. I was like, okay, so the flat top is kind of boring now. And I was going out to clubs because I was 26. I was going out to clubs, and people were like, why are you still wearing your hair like that? And I was like, I'm changing mine. So I saw Inkwell with Lorenz Tate. And he had the braids, and I was like, you know what? I could rock that. I was like, I could rock something like that. So I decided during the period that we had between seasons, between the first season, second season, I was like, okay, I'm gonna let my hair grow, and I'm gonna get extensions. So because I didn't have enough hair to braid, so I got extensions, and the side hair was not quite that long, and so they would braid my hair, like they were braiding and stuff, and then every now and then I'd be somewhere and a braid would fall out and somebody pick it up. And they're like, excuse me, did you,
We've been
is
there.
this yours?
We've been there, ladies. Right, ladies? We've been there.
And I was like this. I'd be like, no, I don't know. No, out of here.
I stepped over somebody's braid yesterday at the food court. We have been there. You're not alone. Welcome to our world.
I understood because like that 8-hour session of getting your hair braided, it was crazy. I was like, I was sitting on the ground like this.
Why so long,
What's
right?
going on?
They've gotten faster now. Like
they-
it's like
yeah.
crazy because like now I get my hair done and it's like 2-3 hours, and I'm like, how is it like? And back I sat when those braids for the movie. I literally sat in that chair for 18 hours.
Wow.
18, and they were like those 18 hours. They dropped me off, and then they brought me breakfast, lunch, dinner. Like they just kept checking on me, and I just remember I fell asleep, and the guy was still going, the African guy. But yeah, like why so slow?
Next question.
How y'all doing?
What's up, big dog? You all right?
Good, good. I'm curious to ask if you all have been able to meet some of the Black Power Rangers that came after you, SPD, Time Force, RPM.
All of them.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We've done a lot of. You mean all of the black actors?
Yeah, black
Okay,
actors.
yes.
Black actors.
Yeah, we do a lot of Comic Cons like Power Morphicon, Ranger Stop. Karen is running Ranger Stop and Pop in Atlanta. So yeah, I know she knows everybody, and I've met everybody. Like we are all when we're all together, like we're a big family. We're like this is the Ranger family, So we all get together and go hang out and have a good time.
And we do the whole like Keenan and was it Keenan, what is it?
Key
Like we
Peele?
see, yeah, we're like yeah, man. Like we see the
What's
black
up,
people. You
yeah,
just
exactly.
hug, dap it up.
Yeah.
It's like I mean, I always say like if you wore spandex, you're family.
Right.
But
there
then
it is.
also like if you were a black Power Ranger, you're really family. Like it's
Yeah.
like these are people we know we're the limited few. So I'm always happy to meet them.
It's funny, over the 30 years, I've met a lot of Power Rangers, and I'll meet them not in in a different social environment. I met Selwyn Ward. I was dancing salsa at the Conga Room in Los Angeles, and he was there, and I met him, and I was like, he was a young looking, good looking dude. He was like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "What's up?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm actually, I'm Power Ranger right now. I was like, oh, what's up? That's cool. All right. I was like, what Ranger are you? Red Ranger. I was like, you're the red. Come on, dog. Like, so I was like, he's like, yeah, we kind of like a model cast. Y'all, okay, what's up? But it was interesting because I'm always like, well, I'm the OG, so people see me and they're like, man, I watched the show and I grew up with you, and now my fantasy of becoming a Power Ranger has come real, and it's very cool because I'm like, all right, well, welcome to the family, So it's pretty awesome.
Isn't it funny too? Like when we meet them, I mean, obviously we've been around forever, but like they were the kids that were watching the show. Like especially these new ones, they were the kids that were 30 years ago were in front of the TV. Like, oh my god! And so it's so weird because when we meet them, they're so amazing. Like they're literally like, the king and queen are here. Y'all know the OGs. They're here. Like they're like so sweet, but it's so crazy because it's like I don't know. It's just a different feeling when you know that they were actual fans of the show. Like they were actually those kids, and they actually grew up, and their dream was one day to become a Power Ranger, and they actually did it. So but we were part of that beginning, the start of it. So it's always hilarious.
Thank you.
They could be our kids.
This is my first time asking a question to an actor, so sorry if I sound skittish.
You're doing just fine.
You're doing great.
What was it like to be the first Black actors in the show?
It was interesting. At that time in 1992, when we did the pilot, there wasn't a lot of diversity on TV. So, it was cool. I thought this is a very cool idea to have such a diverse group of friends, and they were superheroes, and I was like, this is cool. And I remember after shooting it, I was sitting down, and I was thinking, am I first Black Ranger? I mean, first Black superhero on TV? I was like let me think.
There weren't, think
There
about
weren't.
it. You're like,
There weren't
okay,
any
Eartha Kitt was a
superheroes.
villain.
Right.
Like you start thinking of all these things, and you go through it all. Yeah.
I was like, okay, so Robert Townsend did Meteor Man, and that came out 2 weeks before Power Rangers. Tony Todd had done Mantis, and that was like a movie of the week. But there had not been a television show with a Black superhero. So I was like, am I the first? Okay.
Right.
Okay. Hey, it was like, and for me, it was important, but I don't think the rest of the cast was like, they were like, I mean, Tweet was also the first Asian superhero. So, I mean, together we were like, this is really cool. It's amazing. And I had no idea the impact that it would have. But to now, 30 years later, to know that I was like a representative for people of color in 40 countries is pretty amazing. And then Karen Ashley came, was the first female Black superhero. I was like, okay, hey, we out here doing it, So it's an honor. It's such an honor to have been that, and I'm excited about it.
Ditto.
We have 10 minutes left, guys. So anyone that has a question, come line up here. We about to speed round.
Speed round a question. We'll
Y'all-
answer fast.
Y'all are so attractive. I just have to get that out the way really quick. I'm so sorry. Like, both of y'all are so beautiful.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. You're beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask if you guys watch anything similar to the show, like any Kamen Rider, Ultraman, any shows that were kind of similar in the same genre.
I grew up with Ultraman. It's like, that was my thing. When I was a kid, I grew up watching Ultraman. And so when the show came out, I was like, this reminds me of something. It was like, Johnny Sacco as well, something like Johnny Sacco, Ultraman. Those are shows that I used to watch as a kid. So, but I've not seen Kamen Rider. I've seen some of the episodes of Sentai. Thank you. And but not a lot. But yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah, it was funny when we got on the show. They didn't want us to watch that old stuff because they were like, "We want this. This is the American version. It's new. It's new. We don't want you to do we want you to create this American thing." So I was like, "Okay." And then it wasn't like the internet. Like we couldn't go and just go watch YouTube and see it. But now I've seen a lot of it. Like I actually hosted I was a guest host on a show that was all about Sentai, and I was like, "I know nothing about it. Why would you ask me?" Like I'm just like. But they were like, no, you'll we got the other hosts, they'll do the heavy lifting, but I think you could really contribute to it. So I actually watched quite a bit of it because I wanted to at least understand what I was looking at. And I was so like, how did they take that show and make this show? Like, it is totally different. It was hilarious. It's like obviously for adults. It wasn't a kid show. So, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't until much later that I saw some of it. But now I've seen it all.
Hi.
Hello.
So I have like a two-parter question. So my first question is like, when you guys were doing your own stunts, which was your favorite stunt? And then from then, during the show, who is your favorite villain?
Okay. I did the stunt. It was filmed poorly, so but I was super excited about it because we were playing on the playground and we were being, again, it was a putty fight, and I decided I'm gonna run and I'm gonna do we had two putties, so we had a putty here and there was a swing set, and there was a putty chasing me, and I ran. I'm running from the putty. I dive through the chains of the swing set, do a front flip over the putty, land, kick him. He falls into the swing and hits the putty to chase me, right? So I was like, that's kind of a cool stunt for me. I'm like, and it was my idea. And the first time I did it, I ran and I dived through the chains and I did the flip and my leg got caught and I was hanging upside down. I was like, okay, that didn't work. Okay, let me try this again. I was like, I gotta keep my feet together, when I tuck. So the second time I did it, I ran, I dived through the chains, over the putty, flip, land, kick him. He goes into the chains, hits the putty behind him, and I'm like, yes, killed it. Oh, and then I saw it on TV, and you don't even see the chains. You don't even really see the swing until later. It was like where the camera was at. You didn't notice that that's what I did, but I was like, man.
I know.
It's okay, you still did it though.
That was shot so fast they weren't going to give you another take.
Yeah,
they were
no,
like,
that was
forget
it.
it.
That was it. But that was one of the stunts I really enjoyed because I was like, this is gonna look cool. I was like, it's gonna show my agility. It's gonna show my, how clean I am with it. I was clean with it. But you couldn't even see it. I was like, oh man.
You know what? Any stunt was my favorite because I wasn't a martial artist. I was a dancer, so it was like all of it was new for me. So I was always so like proud when I got through a fight, when I, because it was like this wasn't my thing. It was more of it was new to me. But I would say my favorite villain, like I always go back to OGs. I loved Rita. I loved Goldar. I loved Lord Zed, Ivan Ooze. We were just with him. I was just with him a few weeks ago. I loved those guys, like all the OGs.
Yeah, I would say Goldar was probably one of my favorites. Just Rangers. The whole guy, I was like, okay.
He still has that voice. It's still perfect.
Yeah,
like,
Rangers.
Crazy.
We will get you, Rangers.
I was on a panel with him and he broke it down. Like he was like, you gotta, like, I have to use a lot of breath and this and that. We were all like, it was like a technical class, and I was like, dang man, now I think I can do the voice.
Oh yeah, no, it was awesome. I mean, but I gotta give it up to Rita too. Rita, I mean, she's just so consistent.
Yeah.
How many of you guys saw Once and Always? Yeah, all right. So for the 30th anniversary show, which we both went back for, it's the first time I've been back on the show in 28 years. That's a long time, y'all. 28 years. That's like it's like you graduated high school, you graduated college, you got married, you had babies, and you're 28. And it was that many years, and I was like, dang, I'm back after 28 years. And when we filmed it, we had like a script supervisor reading Rita Repulsa's lines, the Robo Rita. So, Robo Rita's doing her thing, like with this, we're acting. But when we saw the trailer of it, when we saw the preview of it, and Barbara had put her voice on it, it was like, I'm home.
Barbara Goodson came back, yeah.
I was like, she just killed Rita. Rita had so much attitude, and she always had a headache. So, I was like, that girl needs some Tylenol.
Typical
I'm
woman.
just saying.
Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing?
What up, what up?
My question is two-parter. Did you guys take any props from the sets? And if you did, what was your favorite prop?
I should have. Now I know, like, everybody stole something. I was like, why didn't y'all tell me it was still your costume day? Like, I thought we would be fired. I thought they'd call the police if we stole the costume. Yeah, I didn't take anything, but I should have.
I didn't realize I was leaving the show. So I was like, I'm just going to renegotiate this contract. I'll be back next week. That didn't happen. So I didn't take anything. I do have a communicator. I have the skateboard from the pilot. The Zach comes in on what's up, and it was crazy when it's in the script when I first got it. They had Zach saying what's up like 32 times. I was like, what are y'all doing? This is like. I was like, nobody really does that. I'm like, but they just wanted you guys to know that Zach was super popular. Everybody loved him. But it was like, I think in the first pilot, they had me skateboarding on the counters. We were at a bowling alley, and I was like, I was riding the skateboard on the counter, like, what's up? I was like, this is crazy. So I was like, nobody does that, you know. But I got the skateboard. I have Ernest Juice Bar sign. That's kind of cool. And I have a shirt.
Yeah, way more than I do.
I have a shirt that Zach wore, and I don't know which episode. I shot during the day and was so tired. I was like, I'll bring it back tomorrow. I never bought it back. And one Halloween, I wore the shirt, and nobody knew it. Nobody
put it together. They were
was
like,
yeah,
"You're
they
Zach."
They didn't even like it.
They didn't
get that shirt, dog. You know,
Dang it.
so it was like.
Thank you.
Well, hello there.
Well, hello there, sir.
How are you doing today?
I'm awake.
Fine.
Exactly.
All right, so I got a 2-question. Look, it's easy. It's easy. All right.
I don't know how we're doing on time. Sorry.
It's very quick. Would you play since they're doing reboots and stuff like that, would you play a villain in the future on a different series?
Oh yeah, that would be so much fun, right?
Straight up, yeah.
Yeah, like if villains get to do anything, like it's like you really get to go. There's no rules. Yeah, I mean, especially since we were such straight-laced kids, straight-laced characters, you know. Yeah, I would absolutely love to be a villain on one of the shows.
Yeah, I mean, like that's why Tommy's story was so good because he came in as a bad guy, you know, and then he was like kicking our butt. It was like, what's going on with this Green Ranger, you know? And then he became part of the team, and then he became the White Ranger, and you know, it's like he had the greatest written story of any Ranger because it was phenomenal. The Green Candle, that whole episodic. Like that whole part of it was crazy because it was cliffhangers every day. Y'all didn't know what to do. Y'all was like going to school. Y'all, the Green Ranger, you steal it, and he kicked him out of and oh my God, what are we gonna do? It was like, hey,
y'all stressing, boy. Yeah, y'all stressing.
It was like the cliffhangers was killing y'all. So I would love to come back as a villain and give him some attitude. Hey.
All right, and then this is what I know you've seen a lot of the other series. Which series would you become a core member of? Like a core Power Ranger member?
You mean like other seasons that have been out?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've never really watched. I mean, I barely watched our show, so I didn't even watch any of those. It's one of those things when you're on the show. It's like I was there. Well, and you don't want to watch yourself because you'll just overanalyze it, and it'll just like you make it a thing, and it shouldn't be a thing. It should be like this was work. It was great. This is what I learned from it. So I didn't watch it for that reason. But like once we left the show, it's like, most of us left and it wasn't like a pleasant, it wasn't a pleasant reason. It was like, you guys have heard the stories. The people we worked for were terrible. So when we left, we left. But, I would love to watch their seasons and I'm sure they're great because I've met all of them and they're all amazing people, So I don't know. I always say Time Force because I'm such good friends with them. Like in real life, we're really like we meet for lunch, we hang out. So I always say that season, but I have no idea what season I'd want to be in.
Yeah, I'm down with Mighty Morphin. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Mighty Morphin or nothing.
Hey, let's go. But I mean, I have seen some of the episodes recently. I watched. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Fanword, but we have a organization called Fanword. We do a lot of stuff for the fans, and one of the things we're doing, like Austin St. John and myself, we're reviewing some episodes of other series. So we watch Time Force, watch Samurai, I think if I were gonna be on another season, I would love to do Jason Font's role. He got to play 2 characters. So it was like
right. Anybody that got to do both, like bad and good,
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
like that's what you want, right?
And I'm an actor, so I'm like I really act, and I'm like I would love to do something like that because I thought that would be cool.
Last question. And she's got a Power Ranger t-shirt on. Yes.
How you doing?
Let's go.
How you doing, guys? What was the experience of incorporating black styles in that space? I know my wife mentioned. My wife loves you, by the way, Karen. especially when it comes to the braids. So that was really big for her. So for Walter, something that I did kind of like of the Power Rangers, how they had color coordinated like outfits, like outside of their like costumes. But you had a cross color shirt on one time, and my dad saw. He was like, "Is that cross colors? Like, that's dope." So what was it like? Blacks like talk about like I guess your experiences like incorporating like black styles like in that space that.
Well, you know what? We had for the pilot, we didn't have any money yet, so.
Wore your own gloves?
Yeah, no, we didn't wear them, but they, they gave me like this vest and some jeans. I was rocking the vest, so I got the arms out, pop out. But then they gave me some bold blue shoes, and I was like, "What is this? I don't want to wear this," And then after the show got picked up, the stylist started getting clothes. So they were sponsored by different people, and it was cool for me because I would walk in. Everybody had to wear their color, but black I could rock anything. I could wear as long as I had black in it somewhere. It didn't matter. So I had purple shoes and like some purple shorts with a shirt with some black in it. It was like Black Ranger, there it is. I remember how many of you guys saw Happy Birthday Zach, that episode, right? Happy Birthday Zach. So I was really happy because in that episode I was rocking a Malcolm X shirt, right? And I was like, okay, I got the Malcolm X shirt on. What's up? So it was cool because at that time in '92 we had Do the Right Thing. They just come out, and it was like everything was very Afrocentric, and I was really excited at the fact that they allowed me to just rock my own culture and like do it like that. So I was happy about it.
Yeah, they were cool about those kind of things. I think because they weren't from America, so it was like they were very cool. And then everybody who worked on the show, the wardrobe team, like they were all young, like they were all our age, or at least a little older. And so they were very hip and cool as far as like, because I would always be like, we didn't dress like this. I didn't wear bobby socks in high school. Like, I mean, but they would at least like let you, like we'd go in and they would like let you accessorize or let you like try to do something. And like I said, when it came down to the hair, I think for them they realized if we let her get braids, then it will cut down on the time that she needs to be in that makeup chair. And so for them it was a win-win. So luckily it was a win for me for style, and then a win for them for practicality. So
Aisha was cute. I was like, oh, she cute.
yeah, I think her and Zach would have been real good friends. We always throw that in there. I think they would have liked each other.
Thank you guys for
That's
your questions.
it.
That's it.
All right.
Well, hopefully, guys, we're right outside the door. We both have you. If we haven't met you yet, we'd love to meet you. Come say hi.
Yeah, definitely come and check us out. And if you want to find me on social media, it's at Walter E. Jones. That's on TikTok and Instagram and X and
Everywhere.
all that. So yeah.
Yes, official Karen Ashley and Karen Ashley on
Peace, y'all.
Instagram. Bye. Thank you, BlerDCon.